Okay, in good form from our old pal Zuck. Our old pal Zuck, Meta is in the news and taking some hits, taking some heat here for taking a 47.5% commission, almost a 50% commission in these in a cut of virtual assets. I'm sharing my screen here with a
this
CNBC
is in. Sorry,
article.
let's just clarify. This is going to be in virtual assets inside the Horizon Metaverse. So Horizon is the metaverse that Meta is creating, right?
Gotcha.
And so that they're saying that if creators are creating these virtual assets, they're taking up to 47.5% fee from these creators. It's funny how these headlines say nearly 50%. You know, it's like it's 47.5. You know, just why you gotta round it up like that?
Well,
you know?
you can call it clickbait, I guess, if you want, or you could just. I mean, they're not wrong. It is almost 50%.
It is almost. It is. But it's 47.5. You know what? You know, like direct response marketing. You always want that specific number, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny how in news and media they always want to round it up to an easy number, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's. I think the marketers that are working with CNBC probably know that the human mind just likes those round numbers too. So Meta's not making any fans here, and I know this kind of ties into the next story that we're going to table for everybody as well. But it's geez, this is just like our fee episode. This has turned into our fee episode because I mean everyone wants to record those record profits. Everyone wants to record those record revenues, and a lot of people are criticizing Meta over this their monetization model because everyone's talking about Web3 being a more of a decentralized future that we're all moving towards. And here, Facebook, I know, is been criticized for a lot of things over the last couple of years, and here they are trying to get a huge cut out of the virtual asset sales. This is a little painful for a lot of people to stomach.
So I'm going to call a little bit of BS on this. So here's my thing. Yeah, I've wanted to talk to you about this before. Let's do it on a different episode. But this idea of why do people hate Mark Zuckerberg, but they love Elon Musk? Yeah. Right. And you know, this has been on our thing. Okay. Let's do that later. Let's keep the audience hooked in. Like, we're going to talk about this one day. So what I think is anytime there's news about Facebook and Meta, it's always negative. Right.
Yeah,
the media. Yeah. They love to hate Facebook. Okay. So look at this. Okay. What's really going on here? This 47.5% fee. Okay. First of all, they say a Meta spokesperson confirmed. Ooh. Who is the Meta spokesperson? Okay. There's no name here. Okay. Second thing, 47.5, which is, it says includes a hardware platform fee, in quotations, of 30% for sales made through the Meta Quest store, where they sell apps and games, right? On top of that, Horizon Worlds will charge 17.5% fee. So what I think is that these virtual things, they're basically NFTs that are going to be sold inside Horizons, is different. That is a 17.5% fee. But their app store is a 30% fee. So if you're selling a virtual good, you're based on what they wrote here, you're only going to be charged a 17.5% fee. If you're selling a game or an app through their platform, you're being charged a 30% fee. So it's not 47.5. They're two different fees.
So, but I think that what most people are going to do though is they're going to assume, wait a second, these fees are being passed over to the user anyways, right? Isn't that their monetization model?
They are, but they are, let's just say that those are the fees, right? Okay. But the way that the headline is putting it is that the fee to sell virtual goods, they are NFTs, selling NFTs in the Horizon Metaverse they're gonna take up to close to 50%. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I sell some virtual shoes in the Metaverse and I sell them for $100, I got to pay up, $50 to Facebook. That's not true. They're taking a 17.5% fee based on what they're saying here. But the way they put the headline, the way they've worded it is as if you're going to be paying a 47.5% fee to sell digital goods.
Okay, I gotcha. I'm catching up here now too, because the hardware platform fee is a one-time fee of 30%.
So if you go into the App Store and you want to sell an app, Apple is taking a 30% fee, which I also want to throw it out here because there has been a lot of controversy in the past about the fees that Apple is charging in the App Store. And on November 3rd, 2021, Mark Zuckerberg wrote on Facebook, "As we build for the metaverse, we're focused on unlocking opportunities for creators to make money from their work. The 30% fee that Apple takes on transactions makes it harder to do that. So we're updating our subscriptions product so now creators can earn more. More details in the comments below." And then he goes on and talks about, he says that we're offering promotional link for creators for their subscription offerings. And he goes on and on about what he's going to be doing. They're going to put in $1 billion investment to creators, which they did do. So he is clearly saying that he doesn't think that 30% is fair. So therefore, he's basically cut it in half for creators in selling things inside the metaverse. It's at 17.5%, if that's the real number, right? But then going back to the 30% fee in his app store, which is also the same as Apple's fee, right? So that's why I actually think that this is not true. This is speculation, and they're saying a Meta spokesperson. Like, who qualifies as a Meta spokesperson? Who is the Meta spokesperson? Why are they not named, right? And if you look over here in the article that Meta put out on April 11th of 2022, it says testing new tools for Horizon Worlds creators to earn money. And then they have a few ways you can make money, including selling virtual items and effects. And they don't talk about the fees, but that's what we're talking about here. So my guess is that even if this is real, this is misleading headlines to try to make Facebook look bad. And so I like to stand up for Mark Zuckerberg because I think he's just hated in the media a lot. And I don't think he deserves it. I think a lot of this is people are framing Facebook, Meta, and Mark Zuckerberg as bad. And obviously I don't agree with everything that they do. I don't want to defend everything that Facebook is doing or has done or whatever, but I just don't think that they deserve this level of criticism. And I think that this is just trying to paint them in a bad way, which is not really accurate. It's not really an accurate story.
I actually legit, before we started recording today, I legit saw on Lou Later that because they were talking about Zuck as well. And apparently a lot of the current employees and previous employees that have recently left the company are sick and tired of Zuckerberg talking about Metaverse, because apparently that's all he wants to talk about. I guess that's the reality over at Meta.
But again,
right
that's now. But again, I heard that story too, right? But I think that's just a bunch of and he's passionate about the Metaverse.
I think it's funny that people,
But you look at Mr. Beast when he talks about how he was obsessed with YouTube for so many years. How are you going to build the Metaverse if you're not? To me, when I hear that story, I'm like, that's great. I believe in Mark Zuckerberg. I should buy more shares in Facebook. He's clearly really passionate about this. It's not a negative thing. These are just a bunch of Karens. Sorry, I didn't want to swear.
You're getting heated. Things are getting heated here.
I am getting heated. I am getting heated because I don't think that Mark Zuckerberg deserves the amount of hate that he gets.
Yeah.
And these kind of headlines up here are so misleading, and I am so against misleading headlines.
That's fair.
Most people don't read the articles. When I first saw this, I thought it was legit 47.5% they were going to take off of these NFTs or these virtual goods. I really thought that until I was reading this paragraph here and I kind of reading between the lines. I'm like, wait a minute, there's no 47%. These are two different products.
Yeah.
It's 30% in their app store, 17.5% for virtual goods.
The hardware.
So there's no 47. Yeah. It's not the same thing. I guess what they're saying is let's say I build a game in the metaverse and then I could also be selling through my game some virtual goods. Right. But there's never at one point a 47 points based on what they're saying. And at the same time,
that's fair, but I have to push back on you on one thing. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from Facebook or Meta or Zuckerberg as far as pushing us to where we are right now and having all these conversations about virtual reality and augmented reality and NFTs and avatars and all these really cool things. I mean, I got a VR headset. I love that stuff. It's an Oculus. So, I mean, I'm a customer. Okay. I'm a fan. Mark, I'm a fan. But I think where I struggle is the fact that any entity, it could be Facebook, it could be another entity that's trying to control the entire we're trying to move away from the siloed gardens. We're trying to move away from this Web 2 model where everyone, all these companies and conglomerates own your data. And I've seen some of his comments about that very subject on this point. But they do. I'm getting the sense that Facebook or Meta, I keep calling them Facebook, Meta is trying to own the entire ocean. But you don't have to own the entire ocean to have a successful business model at the end of the day. And I think moving forward, like look at what Elon is doing with Twitter right now. That's super huge news right now. Right. He's literally saying he's going to open source the Twitter code. Boom. Like that is a completely different model than what we're getting from Meta. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in social media marketing as a whole in the future. And I love virtual reality. So, and without Meta's investments into this infrastructure, into the technology, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And I love it, but I do have a problem with these massive enterprises trying to retain their control and influence over our private data and making us the product. Everyone loves using free resources and tools and games and whatnot. But if you're not paying for the service, you are the product at the end of the day. And that's what I would love for us to move away from as a marketplace. And they're clearly trying to hold on with their fingertips.
I think that is kind of what's happening, right? I think that especially in the Europe and so on, they've been putting a lot more restrictions.
GDPR
around
they're
GDPR,
a lot more harsh.
And also cookies going away. What they did with Safari. So I think that it is moving towards that, and that's why Facebook is changing their model. But when it comes down to marketplaces and the fees they charge, the way that Apple has dominated the App Store and charging 30% fees, and even when you're charging within your app and so on. So there's been a lot of movement in that area around entrepreneurs and startups and creators and the fees that were being charged to get our product to our customers. Yeah. And I think this baseline of 30% that Apple had set, I think that's too high. I think the 2.9% plus whatever it is that PayPal charges for transaction fees is too high, and that's being disrupted right now too. Right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of new payment platforms coming out. There's Wise. There's a few other ones. What do they call it? The pay later things. What do you call?
The
get. What you know what I'm talking about? Those like now you always see it. It's like you can get this now, and then you just do equal installments, and they're not charging a transaction fee.
I can't speak to that because I haven't tried using that. But I mean, I send transactions over Wise all the time, and I think the last time I sent a transaction, it cost me 61 cents, and I was like, wow. And it was like a few $1,000, and I was like, 61 cents.
I would love more of that. I mean, if they just put people on subscriptions, so if you're going to sell, you just pay a fee, $20 a month, whatever. They got a bunch of people on subscriptions, and then there's no transaction fees. That would be amazing. I think that would be a better model. I'm not down with 30%, 17.5. Still, that's pretty high. So yeah, it's just interesting to see how this unfolds, and I'm going to be watching the story, but I just want to just throw it out again. And I do think that people need to kind of read between the lines whenever you see a story about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg.
That's a good call. That's a good point. I can back you up on that. That's you're not wrong there.
Right. All right. Let's move on.